So today we're going to talk about habits. What are they? Well, everybody has habits. Well, I have habits. An organization have habits. They go open and close. They're from 9 to 5. Even animals have habits. They usually eat bugs. And even the climate has a habit. There's some variations in temperatures in some places, but there's not too much variation, so there's some kind of habit over there as well. But let's start with the most useful thing we know at this moment, our own habits. So we somehow live on this kind of circle of life. So this clock from our daily life starts at 0 at night from 12 to the afternoon. And well, that's some kind of abstraction of my own life, is where I woke up in the morning around 8 and start to eat. After I start to eat, it's a bit abstracted. I go to work until 12, then I eat and work again until like 5, 6 ish. I go eating this case at 5. Then I have some personal time, maybe even snack in the evening, and then I go to bed at 11 and then sleep again to the next day, wake up at 8 again. And well, the next day we can kind of repeat this pattern, but then kind of a bit different. I eat a bit later this time, so I go to bed a little bit later, but I compensate by sleeping a little bit less and waking up at the same time due to my alarm, which is every morning set at 7:30 or 8. It differs a little bit. So yes, over time you can see that if you take many days of my own pattern, my behavior patterns, my habits, you can see that I have some kind of pattern that in this morning I eat around 8 and I work during the day from 9 to 5, eat, and then I go to bed at different times. And there's of course a difference between the weeks and weekend, that kind of stuff. But you can see from eating, for example, I kind of have this habit of eating around 8, 6 in the evening. So there's this habit. But we didn't really talk about what I eat, because I also have habits in the things I eat. So, for example, a hamburger or some poke bowls, pizza, or corn with tomatoes nicely drawn, if I have to say. And well, there's also this habit in the things I eat. So maybe I eat some things much more often than the other things. Having habits. So there's this habits in what. So what I'm doing. So what kind of work I'm doing. What kind of friends I'm meeting. And also when I'm doing it. So that's where the patterns that we described earlier. Um, and then there's this coupling. So I'm doing things. So I'm doing things, but I'm doing things in relation to my environment. So I'm kind of, these habits kind of emerge through coupling with the environment. So for example, my organization and many organizations expect their employees to come to work between like 9 and 5. So I work between 9 and 5 because my organization wants me to be there at 9, from 9 to 5. And then in the evening, most of my friends are available because they are also working from 9 to 5 and are available in the evening to do some fun stuff. And my soccer club is open in the evening. And when I go to sleep, well, it's nice when it's dark outside, so I go to sleep between 12 and 8. It differs a little bit. So I'm kind of coupled with my environment, and that's a very important thing of how habits start to emerge, how habits start to exist, because in this society there's this very common rhythm of sleeping at night and working during the day and doing fun stuff in the evening. It's not that everybody does it, but you kind of need to find your rhythm in your environment to get it. So I distinguished a few rhythms. Which one of them is like the climate? So how does your climate work, and how can you couple to that to make an efficient way? So efficient way of living. So in Spain or in Brazil or in Antarctica or in Norway, they have different habits based on the climates. Climate is often also coupled to a social tendency. So there's a lot of well, social rhythms like shops opening, companies opening, which you kind of need to couple to to form your habits. And there's also the clock by itself, which also gives you a sign, something to couple with, because the day and night rhythms not always coincide with the clock. Um, but those are just a few rhythms that you can couple to make your own habits emerge, and that by itself results and interrelates with your hormonal changes and your mental thought patterns. So you have your stress hormones, um, all your adrenaline, all your many of your hormones have also this cycle, this 24-hour cycle. Like stress hormones start to rise before you wake up. Then you wake up, and then there's this all these hunger hormones like ghrelin, leptin, who make you also eat at certain moments, and um, they are used to some patterns, and they are related to your habits. And well, the stronger these patterns, the more you're likely to have these habits. Um, oh, so yeah, so this coupling to your environment gives you some order, because you know when to do what and when to when you're up, what you're up to. So that saves energy, because the environment is used to your behavior, and you know what to expect from your environment. So that kind of saves your energy, so you can do different things within your habits, which makes it very useful to give some order during the day. Um, and you kind of need to find it, because you might sometimes think that you're kind of alone in this world, but actually you're kind of immersed immersed into this environment that you're dependent on, because you need to have food, and you need to sleep, and you need to get money and income to do these things you want. So you need to kind of find your pattern, um, to survive and to live. But there can be quite some variety and stability in your pattern. Some of your habits can be quite chaotic, some of them can be very stable, and there's certain implications for health in this area. But I think that is a topic for next time. So for now, I would like to thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. The next videos will be on this list, and you can go to my website where to read a bit more about it. But thank you for now, and see you next time.